Hi, Dennis Weiss, Eagle Communications. Welcome to our town. We're at the Alamo Saloon in Old Town Abilene. We have Sarah Wilson, Michael Hook, and we have a summer into fall, a long list of things that are going on to talk about today. But first of all, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
To the camera of Eagle Communications. Both of you have been with me before, and I know you're slightly trepidatious about that, as you should be, because we're going to cut for high card.
Oh boy.
I got mine. Michael? 8.
Oh.
Sarah's running the interview.
All right, so. No,
okay, there you go, roll, let's go. So here we are, Sarah Wilson, who has learned that volunteerism is a lot like hard work.
Yes.
We are looking forward to another successful year in Old Town Abilene. And frankly, we're sitting in the middle of the old Alamo Saloon. That is kind of empty except for us today. But your group has already turned this into a vibrant, active place again.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what's going on.
So if you come down here on a weekend, this is where you're going to see a lot of the action. We're open now Saturdays and Sundays, 11 to 4, every weekend, which was a huge priority for our board. That was #1 priority. We were going to be open during the summer, during our busy season.
Okay.
And we've accomplished that. And we've also got the added benefit of Can-Can girls and gunfighters. And the Can-Can girls draw a huge crowd. We've been here on Saturdays where, I mean, it's standing room only.
That's just so terrific. This I've said in front of that camera many, many times now. I always talk about the same thing, economic revitalization and how to make our community better. That's the reason we carry that around. The topics change or the guests change, but that is the mission. So you look at what you just said, you're bringing people here and they're filling up this place with fun and excitement. That is the essence of growth and hope.
Yes.
Fun and excitement, really is.
Yeah.
If your community can't produce fun and excitement, you don't have many growth possibilities.
Right.
We're doing really well here.
Yeah, it's been exciting. I've been on the board probably a year and a half now, maybe a little less. And the change that we've seen in that time alone, I couldn't have thought that we would get here. I mean, I knew it would happen someday, but I feel like it's gone quickly, and I think that's because we've got the right people in place. Kobe Anderson's the one that really spearheaded the Can-Can girls.
Okay.
And she has, they're so enthusiastic. They want to take it on. They want to own it. They want to make it fun.
That's great.
It's amazing to see that and to just have people that are just as passionate as you are to see Old Abilene Town.
What age are those people?
They're anywhere from 18. Kobe is in her 30s, you know, so I don't know if she wants me to say that.
Well, they're all young
I'm just
people.
kidding.
That's my point, all young people.
Yes, exactly.
While we might have some willing triers to get up there who might be my age, but they wouldn't last very long, would they?
But we accept all kinds. There's no limit.
That's good to know. If I ever needed a part-time job, I can have a shot at the Can-Can.
Enthusiasm is the #1 requirement.
Maybe I better go for the gunfighter side.
That's true, you could. Yeah,
I'm a lot
there you
better
go.
at that. So, all right, but there's a lot of fun, a lot of excitement, and a lot of people helping you, including Michael Hook today. And we're going to let him talk sooner or later. It's going to be later.
Yeah.
So tell us, as we look forward into fall, the main events that are going on down here, then we'll talk about them.
Yeah, so we've got karaoke coming up on Friday, July 26th. That's one of our, just having a good Friday night down here.
Okay.
That's one of our smaller events, but we're hoping that people come out just to have a fun, good time. There's no admission to that event. If you've got the vocal cords to sing a tune in here, we'd love to see it. If you just want to come have a drink, if you just want to come have a burger, there's many reasons to come. I
have discovered in my many years of life that tequila changes one's impression of vocal cords greatly.
And we are going that.
Okay.
Then we have the best MC because that's Lexi Weiss.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you what, that you can't get much better talent than that at the end of the day. So we really have tried hard as a community to do things, but I always have to give Marv Diener this quote. So the short version of the story is Marv Diener, 6 state championships, Salina Central, looked at my lovely little wife after a single loss in junior year of his son's season at Salina Heights. They lost a narrow game to Salina South, and my wife said, "Marv, the boys tried really hard tonight." And Marv did this and said, "Elizabeth, my grandma tries hard. I expect my linebacker to make the tackle." And this is my point. Yeah, we're trying hard, but we're winning. This is working.
Yes.
There are results here, and that's something that we can be very, very proud of.
Yeah, and we definitely are. We have amazing people, like you said. This is not a one-man show by any means. It's like a 20-person show at times, and we have a great group here that works really well together. Paige Westfall is like a new addition to our board, and she has Wild Heart Carriages, and she comes down here. She's here every Saturday, weather permitting. Obviously, if it gets too hot, like it is predicted this Saturday, she doesn't run, but it's her teams. She's put work into the Stagecoach. She repainted it. She did all that. And all the proceeds from the Stagecoach come back into Old Abilene Town. I mean, you can't ask for more than that.
No, you can't ask for more than that.
You can't.
You'll never get it. Even if you did ask, you'd never get more than that.
So it's just been amazing to see the new additions, how well we've all worked together. I think we're just really proud to be a part of this board, and the Can Girls and the Gunfighters getting involved was just a huge thing for us. And we've got lots of events coming up, and we're all going to be working towards them.
I'm going to give you a breath.
Yes.
Okay.
Go to Michael.
Michael, you're Mr. History for Western Abilene, and I mean the Western heritage of Abilene. You have stood in many places in front of many different groups of people, extolling our history and the virtues and what we have to offer here. What's it been like for you as a historian who loves this to see this happen down here?
Yeah, I just enjoy seeing it come to life, and really have no idea. I mean, really, even with the camera, we didn't have a lot of photographs of what we knew that was here. And so you're basically taking the oral histories of people, and J.B. Edwards, who lived to be 105 years old and was still here in the 1950s, he's telling the stories of what it was like when Wild Bill and Tom Smith were here. And he actually wrote them down on an accountant's ledger and told us all these stories. So we're basically able to bring that to life. And these gunfighters, Jeff Crippen and his group, are willing to bring that history back to us. And so that's what we're so excited is. It's not enough just to go out there shooting your guns. We want to put a little history lesson to it too. And so, you know, get some dramatic music and really bring this thing to life. I mean, the really great, successful cow towns are the ones that can present the story in the way that it needs to be presented there. So
I've always appreciated when fun part of history, bang, 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 is going on, that it's authentic. And I think there's a marketability factor to that. I think real sells and real lasts. You can moderate gunfights and go anywhere and set one of those up. But if it's about us, if it's about the real thing, if it's about Wild Bill and Tom Smith and the real events replayed in front of us, that will last in the marketplace. So for us, and economic revitalization goals, something that lasts is what we're looking for.
And to make this a destination again. I know that Old Abilene Town did great in the 60s because 6 out of the top 10 shows on TV were Westerns. So the market was there. But, you know, we get people that come here that remembered when they were kids. We're bringing that nostalgia factor back, and they want to bring their grandkids and continue to keep pumping this through. And hopefully we'll have this thing for generations, continuing to do the same thing as reliving their childhood again.
You know, teamwork is big. You've all sat through my sermons on this, and as most people behind the camera have too, but teamwork's really big on my list of great things and great human accomplishments. So the Smoky Valley Railroad, Abilene Smoky Valley Railroad right up here, they're facing difficult times because of the flood. You know, just outside of town, tracks are washed away. Well, they're still making what run they can this morning. But while they have some work to do to restore their track, you sitting right here is still helping that business. You're putting people here, it's helping them. And in the past, them sitting there has helped you. That will continue to be true. The question is, are we headed in the same direction? And that's towards growth, towards fun, towards excitement, towards realism, towards history. And I think the answer to that's yes.
We agree. And that's been our goal from the onset, is to bring, you know, the best of both worlds. Obviously, you want the kids to have fun, you want the adults to enjoy it, though, from a historical aspect, and to, you know, kind of marry those two worlds is where we're going after, and I think we're doing a good job of achieving that. Ronnie and Roger brought over their, you know, Old Abilene Town replica from the 1870s, and that has been, I think that's a perfect marriage of the two, because it's right at the height of like the 8-year-olds. So they're all walking around looking at it. So cool.
And
then
that is set up in the
that's set up in the clock shop.
In the clock shop,
Yes.
and that's turned that place from a building that
with its
we
door
could
closed,
use
yeah.
into a little museum of
attraction.
Old Town Abilene.
Yeah, and that's been amazing to see. And those guys are just so awesome to work with, and they, you know, they want to see us do well. We want to see them do well.
And you had to pay those guys, what, $100,000 to
yes,
build that?
they're very expensive.
They did actually figure out what it would have cost, and it was somewhere
Yes.
around $20,000 if they would have charged us. But it was their own good heart, and it was
Yes.
Roger Watt and Ronnie Phillips.
Yeah.
They spent a winter just trying to rebuild the stories. And again, what the pictures that we see, they do no justice to it, because you can't see the saloons just stacked in like this, tight as they
Right.
were. And when you get a chance to see this scale model 1/24th, you're like, this was on Texas Street? How is this possible? Like, and it really was. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So they didn't operate under our current planning and zoning code, did they?
That's
No.
right.
So we have James Holland over here. We could make him talk if we had another microphone, but he's the expert on that. But the reality of it is that's just looking back through history, this is good. So we have an old guy, we have a young lady, both working in corporate America, if you will. As we look back through history, there are things to learn. That was a time of unprecedented growth, was it not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
In Abilene?
Yeah.
And because Longhorns were being driven up from Texas, loaded on the rail cars here, and as you'll have to help me with the name, you can shout it out, Chereau?
Yeah, Jim
wrote the
Thoreau.
book, Jim
Yeah.
Chereau, as his book outlined to us, changed the economy of the entire continent and then the world
Yeah.
with the ready access to protein through beef.
Yeah.
That came from Abilene, Kansas,
Yeah.
America, right? But as we sit here and look at this, you look at these things, and yes, those buildings were stacked end to end. And then over time, we have the Abilene we have now. I don't think it's correct to say bad in either direction from economic sense. It's just a phase. But if you close those phases off, you're probably not going to have a chance to experience some growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly.
Well, you're not going to disagree with me because you're afraid we'll cut your microphone, you know, but you feel free if you want to. Okay, so let's talk about a little more fun.
Yeah.
So last year, I think I've always came to everything you've had down here, sometimes as just sitting in an easy chair and sometimes helping and sometimes both.
Right.
I'm looking forward to being sometimes both again this year. I'm glad to help do what I can do to make success happen.
Yes.
We have a ever-present need for volunteers. You do, you and
Yes.
your group, thus all of us do. It will take a lot of people to make Chisholm Trail Days go off without a hitch. And you both know the pains of being the linchpin on that.
Yes.
Well, I know the fun side. It's awful fun to gather your family and friends and form your little ops team and go do something for Sarah's operation down here.
Yeah.
You get some water, you get some lawn chairs, and you bring your best, happiest attitude. And it's a fun, fun day. And
Yeah.
you're going to need some of that.
Yes, we are really excited to do Chisholm Trail Days again this year. I think we want it to be an annual event every year. I think it's really good for not just us, but Abilene as a whole. And, you know, it's Abilene putting this on for everybody. You know, we really want it to be a community thing. And this year especially, we're having some local talent for the bands.
That's great.
We've got, Jeff and Don Dawson are going to open up on Saturday night, and everyone knows them. They're pretty famous around
Yeah.
here for their cowboy poetry and the shows that they put on. And they're doing that for free, might I add, which is an amazing thing for us.
Which is an amazing
Yes.
thing. Yeah,
And
that's
then they're going to open up for the Lazy Wayne Band, which is out of Salina, but also has some Dickinson County connections with their
Sure.
band members.
Right.
And then Sunday is going to be the Serenity String Band, another Dickinson County local
Yes.
group. And then they're opening for Lucas Maddie and the Kansas Cartel, and they're out of Manhattan. Those guys have been with us for a few years now, so
Two things.
yeah.
Let's start. Terrific idea.
Yeah.
I think terrific idea. It's so important for us to embrace that solutions we can own
Right.
really can solve this. whatever this is, we can solve it. If we have it, if it's our problem, we also have the capacity to create a solution. So economic viability and the rebirth of Old Town Abilene, that's our problem, that's our issue. We can solve this. I think it's a masterstroke that you're reaching out into the local community and saying, we want you to come help us entertain us and everybody else that comes from all over the state or out of the state to enjoy this event.
Yeah, I think it was important for us to get the community involved. They're involved every year through sponsorship, through volunteer, all of that kind of thing. But when we have the talent here, why not use it? Especially since it's a lot more sustainable than the previous talents we've used, which have been amazing, draw great crowds, and have been the nicest people. But it's not sustainable to continue with those large of names. One day, hopefully, it is. But for now, I think the local talent that we have, it's amazing that we can use that and have it right here.
And we hope the 2 days will keep the people in town too. That's what is so key to this thing. The couple of years when we did it, the hotels were all booked, the campsites were all booked, and then the restaurants all the way and up and down to Riddles and the grocery stores and all that. Everybody was benefiting off of this. So we want to flood this town again like it was before.
What are the dates this year?
It's Saturday, August 31st and Sunday, September 1st.
Okay.
Both days are 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So you've got a whole day's worth of activities down here.
All the sunscreen and water you can carry.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'll be great. As we look back through time here, we're short-term memory people in today's world. We think that whatever we see today, it's always been that way. Well, it's not true here. So this is a distinct growth pattern here in Old Town Abilene. Even the name change is the start of that. But I remember the first thing I told you when we first sat together, and you said you wanted to do some publicity and asked me what I thought, and I said to you, no, it needs to be you. You need to be the face of this. You need to present your face. You need to say what you're going to say and be identified with the solution. That's precisely what you did with your entertainment acts. You're presenting Abilene as a solution and the faces. So Jeff and Don Dawson, people will remember that and they will accrue value to those faces for those performances. And that's us. So that value doesn't leave us. They will say, those Abilene people created a great time for us. And 20 years from now, 30 years from now, there'll still be people in Abilene, won't there?
Right.
And if we can keep this going, the value always stays here. And I think that's a masterstroke. Well done.
Thank you so much.
So Michael, what new about history? Card games here. Boy, trivia night. What's the most famous card game played in Abilene, Kansas, other than this one right here?
Yeah, it's Pharaoh.
Okay, why?
Well, it's interesting, and Chiro said it best. He said the benefit goes to the banker, so whoever's dealing is going to eventually win all the hands.
And who was doing the dealing?
That was Joseph McCoy. He was the banker, and so unfortunately, the railroads ended up becoming the dealer, and McCoy lost the game of Pharaoh. It was the biggest game of Pharaoh in history. And so he basically said, "I played the game and I lost."
So, but. Dickinson County, right?
We benefited.
What town's right over there? Harrington.
All right.
Okay, there's several over there. I'll give you that one. Harrington, they're still a railroad town, not what they once were, but they're still the railroad town in Dickinson County. We still have a number of people here employed by the railroad who do all sorts of things for the railroad. The railroad still runs through the center of town and still hauls millions of dollars of freight through here every day. Our grain, the bulk of our grain leaves here to true markets via rail. So I think Abilene won the Pharaoh game. Yeah, now the middlemen might have changed, but I think we're still winning that game.
Yeah, and I think it's so important to give McCoy a little bit more credit than we do. He's kind of forgotten throughout the history, but just down at the where the Kirby House used to be, they've actually put up a monument for McCoy and the Kirby, two great properties. That was what his first house was, and they've got a little monument for both of those guys. But McCoy is the one that basically changed the shape of Abilene. We were just 12 log cabins before him, and this became something after he left. And unfortunately, he didn't make a lot of profit off of us, but he really did change a town for the good, I think.
So What's the name of the railroad guy who made all the money?
Oh, there was lots of them there.
Oh, there's my point. We
Yeah.
don't know that guy's name, do we?
Yeah,
we
he had
still
silk socks, that's all we know.
Okay, we do know Joseph McCoy's name.
Yeah.
So what I guess the message I'm saying there is I really believe that the value that has stayed with Abilene was not really the guy who made the money on the railroad. It's the story of Joseph McCoy.
Yeah.
It's still here for you to tell. It's still here building value today. He can't cash this check.
Yeah.
But there is economic prosperity being created by Joseph McCoy today in Abilene campus. You're doing it right here. True enough?
Great job.
True enough. Okay, so what other fun things haven't we talked about? What's on your calendar between now and the 1st of September?
Yeah, so we're going to be full steam ahead, Chisholm Trail Days, having a lot of work days on that, hitting the boots, hitting the ground running with, getting sponsorships, getting volunteers, getting everything organized.
And you've given yourself a deadline of August 1st
For a lot of things.
to set the volunteer
Yes.
meeting that we're going to have down
Yes,
here with
exactly.
fresh cold sarsaparilla.
Yes, and the air conditioning will be on instead of like right now. So yeah, we're going to do that. That's going to be our big August push. Is obviously going to be Chisholm Trail Days. And then after that, we definitely want to, because we have, with the weather in Kansas, we have an extended season. You know
Right.
what I mean? It doesn't just stop in September because
Right.
we have basically all summer in September.
Yes, we do.
So we have great ideas for that. We want to do Halloween down here. We think that would be really fun.
Okay.
We have the hotel across from us. That would be an awesome haunted house, we think.
Are you looking for a partner to turn that into an Airbnb?
And we would love to do that too, long term.
Okay.
We have lots of long term
Long
goals.
term
Yes.
can turn into short term
Yes,
if the
that's
right
true.
guy calls.
That's true, yes. So we have lots of opportunity down here. It's just getting the right people in place and making the right choices for our, as a board for Old Abilene Town.
Okay. So if somebody's passionate about helping you
Yes,
at the core,
yes, please.
please.
Yes.
Okay.
We take all kinds, and it takes so many people to make this thing go. It is definitely not myself. It's definitely not Michael and I. It's, it's a huge
Are you using a
undertaking.
single contact point for any Old Abilene Town business that you could share with us?
Yeah, they can contact Old Abilene Cowtown at gmail.com. That's our email.
Okay.
They can always contact us on Facebook. That's a really easy way too.
Okay.
But either of those, if people want to get involved, we are definitely open to any ideas, any collaboration. We've already collaborated with so many great places in Abilene. Rivendell Books has given us some books for the general store. Coleman Meats is doing a raffle for us that's going to benefit Chisholm Trail Days. It's just, I could go on and on about all the people that have helped us, get to where we're going. And they do that just out of the, they want the same thing that we do, which is a strong community that supports each other. So.
Well, anytime there's a camera set up and the microphone's on, saying those people's names out loud is a great thing to do.
I should have made a list because
That's
I could
okay.
go on and on. But yeah.
I'll bet you have some way when people log into Facebook or any of those other places, you're letting people know how to
Yes.
help you
Yeah.
and who is helping you.
Yeah.
Well, we've mentioned some board members. We want to thank
Please.
Andrew
Yes.
and Lisa Kajowski
Yes.
too. They
Okay.
put hours
Yeah.
into that. They helped put the skirts on the model town, and they've fixed the way station, all kinds of fun
Yeah.
stuff.
And their daughter Abby is a can girl. And I mean, just does go get her.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see that family be involved with us.
Linda Ellis and Terry
Yes.
Tegens, of course, they're both into these
Sure.
historic projects.
Yeah.
She fixed this whole downstairs. If you get a chance to see the merchants, it's beautiful on the main
Saw it
floor.
last year. It's just fantastic.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, have you done any Facebook live video of the Can Girls?
I've done, when they first started, I did a video on Facebook. They've got new routines, so we definitely need another video that goes
You
up.
need to do that.
But I also want people to come here to see them. They can't just watch the video on Facebook.
I don't lay my good advice
Yes.
out twice in a row unless you take it. So you need
We'll put
to
up a
do
new-
that.
yeah, we will.
Thank you.
We
That's
will.
a much better answer than I did it once. So
I can post on Facebook all day for 24 hours.
That's
how
right,
it feels,
exactly.
which is amazing, but yeah.
no, so the marketplace outside the doors is always bigger than the marketplace inside the doors, no matter
Absolutely.
how many people you put in here.
Right.
And the ever-present need to tell people about they could be here
Yes,
too
yeah.
exists. And that's if you have young people up there and
Yeah,
young people
we've got
here.
the platform for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go do it.
Absolutely.
Okay, he's going like this, and that means either get your rope out, I didn't bring it, or hurry up. How much time we got left? We're done. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I did missed his 2-minute mark. So one more cut of the cards.
Okay.
10.
Oh, that's a dead man's hand.
Michael
isn't
Hook,
that?
you get to sign us off.
Well, just in the same way, Wild Bill, we're sitting here in the saloon, and we do appreciate everybody coming out to see us. Every weekend, we're going to have some fun activities. So thank you so much, and thank you, Eagle, for coming to see us.
You bet. Dennis Sweets, Eagle Communication. Have a great day.